The hall smelled of roasted pepper and honey. Oil shimmered under candlelight. Steam lifted gently from a plate of mushrooms, the emperor's favorite dish. Around the table, servants stood motionless. Every breath, every glance waited for one man. His name was Helotus, and before the emperor could eat, Helotus had to eat first. He took a bite, chewed slowly, and swallowed. Nothing happened. The room exhaled. The dish was carried forward to Emperor Claudius. He smiled. Food was comfort. Food was power. But in that moment, it was also danger. In Rome, a meal was never just a meal. It was ceremony, politics, and trust served on a plate. And on this night, in 54 AD, that trust would kill him. Across centuries, rulers have feared the same thing, that a single bite could end their rule. To protect themselves, they created a strange profession, the royal food taster. These men stood between hunger and death. They dined before kings, but never for pleasure. They ate to protect, not to enjoy. In Rome, the position was both an honor and a sentence. A trusted taster could live among nobles, but one mistake would erase his name before dessert. Helotus lived under that shadow. He served Emperor Claudius, a scholar, a survivor, a man of contradictions. For 13 years, his empire prospered, but his home was a war of whispers. Claudius's fourth wife, Agrippina the Younger, was ambitious and unafraid. She had a son, Nero. He had a son, Retonicus. At first, Claudius dreamed of peace, two heirs ruling side by side. But when the emperor began to doubt Nero's worth, Agrippina turned to other means. She sought out a poison maker named Locusta. From that moment, dinner became destiny. That night, Claudius sat before his favorite dish, mushrooms, honey glazed and fragrant, soft, golden, perfect. Romans believed mushrooms were food of the gods. To Claudius, they were comfort. To Agrippina, they were opportunity. Her lotus, as always, tasted first. According to the historian Tacitus, the poison was sprinkled on an exceptionally fine mushroom. The dish was served. Claudius ate. Moments later, his body began to betray him. He coughed, gasped, tried to stand. Servants rushed forward. He vomited, and for a moment seemed to recover. But then came the physician, Xenophon. He offered to help the emperor expel the poison, and instead slid a feather dipped in a stronger one down his throat. Claudius collapsed over the very table that had fed him. The next morning, Nero was emperor. Helotus, the taster who had failed, kept his post. Under Galba, he even rose higher, made procurator of Rome. He had tasted death and been rewarded for it. In Rome, loyalty was not always the safest meal. After Claudius's death, fear spread faster than any disease. The act of eating, once joy, now suspicion,
turned into ritual. The first taste no longer belonged to the ruler, but to the servant who stood closest to danger. It wasn't just Rome. Centuries later, another Roman name returned, Mark Antony. Pliny the Elder wrote that Antony so distrusted Cleopatra, he refused to eat or drink before someone else tasted it. Cleopatra found amusement in his fear. Before a grand feast, she dipped the petals of her flower crown in poison. Then she challenged Antony to drop one into his wine and drink. He hesitated. She stopped him and ordered a prisoner to drink instead. He did. He died instantly. The hall froze, and Cleopatra whispered her lesson. If love could not be trusted, then neither could food. By the 12th century, fear had become science. A physician in Saladin's court wrote about the detection of poisons. He warned, never trust food that smells too strong or tastes too sour. Avoid dishes heavy with onion or garlic because they can hide the taste of death. If poison is suspected, he advised, induce vomiting. Drink milk or butter to cleanse the body. And in one strange note, he claimed the droppings of a rooster could force the poison out. Even in reason, superstition lingered. The meal was still both medicine and threat. By the late Middle Ages, poison had become fashionable. In the courts of Italy and the Papal States, it was whispered that noble families like the Medici used it to remove rivals. True or not, people believed it, and belief alone was enough to ruin appetite. In Spain, the Duke of Olivares once leapt from his chair during dinner, certain his wine was poisoned. The steward drank from the same flask to prove it safe. The taste of vinegar, not poison, had caused the panic. In England, fear became etiquette. At a banquet in 1465, servants kissed every napkin, spoon, and dish before serving an archbishop. It was called the assay, a performance of loyalty meant to cleanse suspicion. King Henry VIII took it further. His servants kissed his sheets before he went to bed. And his daughter, Elizabeth I, inherited his throne and his paranoia. Rumors said the King of Spain sought to poison her through her physician, Rodrigo Lopez. He was elderly, Jewish, and innocent. But fear is louder than truth. He was executed anyway. Around that time, a German traveler named Paul Hensler described Elizabeth's table. A noble countess entered first, bowing 3 times, carrying the taster's knife. She cleaned each plate with salt and bread, while guards stood by. 24 courses followed. Each tasted, each delayed. Because most poisons took an hour to act, the queen ate every meal cold. The warmth had gone out of food. Safety had replaced pleasure. And the table, once a place of community, had become a mirror of fear.
The ritual survived even into the modern world. Different uniforms, same distrust. During the Second World War, Adolf Hitler kept 15 food tasters.
One of them was Margot Volk. She remembered the meals, perfect vegetables, fresh rice, soft pasta, and the silence that followed. They ate, then waited 1 hour. If no one fell, the food was sent to Hitler. We cried a lot, she later said. We asked each other every day, will we still be alive tomorrow? When a bomb failed to kill him in 1944,
The tasters were locked inside the wolf's lair. Only Margot survived when the Soviets arrived. All the others were gone. And in the East, Joseph Stalin placed his faith in one man, Sasha Ignatishvili, nicknamed the Rabbit. A childhood friend, maybe even a half-brother. Sasha tasted everything before Stalin did. He oversaw the banquets, the cooks, the wine. One of those cooks had served Lenin and Rasputin. That Shet's grandson, it is said, is Vladimir Putin, who still uses tasters today. From emperors to dictators, from marble halls to concrete bunkers, the fear never changed. Only the flavor did.
Thousands of years separate Claudius from Putin, but both sat before the same question. Can power ever eat in peace? Food is the most human of all acts. To share it is to trust another with your life. That trust built empires, sealed marriages, started wars. It filled rooms with laughter, and sometimes with silence. In Rome, honey hid poison. In England, salt covered fear. In every age, people have turned to food for comfort and found both warmth and danger on the same plate. A meal can bless or betray. It can heal or harm, but it always tells the truth about who we are. Because to eat is to trust, and trust, then and now, is still the rarest flavor in the world.